Superman's motto, that which defined the character for the better part of 80 years, has now changed. Whereas in the past the phrase was truth, justice, and the American way, now they have changed it to be more global and more encompassing of the rest of the world, and the American way bit has been dropped in favor of a quote-unquote better tomorrow. As usual, the idiots on Twitter who think they're changing the world from their couches and improving the situation of those in need without even moving a finger, clapped, cheered, and reveled in this new take on a classic expression that seems, at least to me, to be not very well understood even by those who write this comic book and at large by the American population. I see here very little understanding, sure, and that is concerning. It's more than just an expression. It's beyond what some on Twitter say is colonialism that furthers the United States' involvement in other countries' affairs. This phrase, when truly lived and therefore truly understood, is more powerful than a mere inclination towards an imperialistic American attitude of excessive patriotism that spreads over the rest of the world, engulfing it and ridding it of particular customs or traditions that they have, systems of government, and many other things that define them. But it's beyond that. It's not only that. And the American way is not only expansion. No, my friends, the American way is beyond that, and here in this video I will attempt with a little bit of history to break down why this phrase is so important today, and it means more than the short-sighted SJWs out there spouting and believing about this particular characteristic of Superman's personality being imperialistic or rather suffocating. The American way is revolutionary. It involves freedom. It's that very same freedom that was won in 1776, and which was such a huge concept, that which stated that individuals could gather and fight for what they believed in, getting rid of a tyrannical rule, that it was a spark that spread like fire around gunpowder all over the world. From France in 1789, a little over a decade after 1776, to the Latin American revolutions that started in 1810, the fight for freedom became something of an American staple that was carried out by many others in the pursuit of freedom, equality, and happiness. And that last bit is also at the heart of the American way. When the Constitution of the United States was written, one of its founding principles was that every single human being was created equal, and thus have the same right to pursue what brought them happiness. With so many tyrants ruling the world since the beginning of civilization, the fact that some peoples in our history wanted to break free has brought now a new concept that is still lived to this day, and it is that every person has inalienable rights that give the individual dignity and place him or her just beside everyone else. In the law, nobody is above and nobody is below. Truth be told, these democratic concepts were not new. Of course not. They were taken from early Greek and Roman ruling, but they were applied to a modern context in such a way that today we enjoy more freedoms than our ancestors could have even imagined. We live with rights that protect us and our families, and we have the option of choosing who will rule and, if it's necessary, recall them when they don't do the job that they were hired for. The American way stopped being an exclusive thing from the US. The moment other countries strove for democracy and fair ruling, the moment that they sought out to abolish unfair conditions and slavery and bring about a new way of seeing society, that was the moment when the American way became universal. It's no longer just something that the United States have. It's also something that other countries and the rest of the world have been looking for. It also implies hard work to be happy and get what you want. That's also a crucial part of what we also know as the American dream. Without the American way, there could be no dream. That is an ideal in which anyone willing to work hard for what they want will in the end get it. Hard work and honest work will bring you your reward. The notion that American streets were paved in gold was a fitting metaphor for what anyone was capable of doing once setting foot in America. That you could earn a living and improve your and your family's situation. That you could be better. That you could be free to pursue those dreams that you have. That you could be free to make a living in whatever way you saw fit. That you could believe in anything that you wanted, so long as you respected others. It's the reason many European immigrants, and later on from other countries around the world as well, decided to flee to America, seek new opportunities, and bring their families along for them to have a future that Europe could no longer offer them. It might sound paradoxical considering we mentioned the universality of this American way in shaping revolutions and freedom movements around the world. But remember also that many European territories had, and some of them still have, monarchic rulings. Truth be told, things have changed, but it has also been a very slow process. The notion of prosperity through one's own hard work became a reward for those from other countries and also for anyone willing to work in America. And while it is true that many times things didn't turn out as expected by some people, one cannot deny the importance of such an ideal in one's life, and it's also a very good ideal for a country. Yes, there are still many flaws, there were still many mistakes, people were still making things wrong, doing things wrong, but that doesn't exime this ideal, this utopia that they were trying to achieve. For these reasons, and I'm sure that many more intelligent people with far better understanding can provide you with even better ones, the phrase American way is properly used to describe Superman, a child who's the only survivor of his home planet, an immigrant who found decent people to raise him on their values such as honesty, hard work, understanding, and the desire to do good. Be good and become a better person every day of one's life. In short, improving yourself. He fights for freedom. He throve in an environment of hard work, masterfully represented by his life spent on a farm. He became a symbol of hope that we all can be better and work hard to do it, that we can all be heroes. We can all achieve our dreams if we set out to get them. We can become what we want if we don't lose focus, but also if we don't forget where we come from. If we are not afraid, we can accomplish anything. All that and so much more is at the core of who Superman is. His personality is much deeper than those so-called fans who only see in him a Boy Scout can really grasp. That's the embodiment of the American way. That's also what all those immigrants have been seeking every time they try to enter the US, and that are very interestingly represented by Superman. It's what other countries desired when they decided they had had enough of tyrants and were ready to take matters into their own hands and find their own way by at the same time being protected from any harm or any uprising of any dictator or any dictatorial ruling, by way of human rights recognition and the respect of all human life, as much as the respect of freedom that everyone has. As can be seen, the American way is more than just an expression, and it's certainly not exclusive of the United States. Its share changed from 1776 onwards, but at its core it's still the same message. We have a right to happiness and find a way to get it. That's an encouraging thought, and that a comic book hero represented in such a wonderful way is a gift. We should appreciate it instead of feeling ashamed of it or trying to change it. Anyway, that's only my opinion. Let me know yours down below in the comments, and until next time everyone, peace out.